All right, I'd like to share a few tips that will be helpful in you being able to read fluent fingerspelling a little more easily. One of those things is to use the tip in your last minute lesson, which was about sounding it out as you spell it out. The same thing applies as to when you're receiving that information, to actually sound it out, to read it out, just as you read a book. When you were very, very young and you were learning how to read, you sounded out the word. And so you're doing the exact same thing in your mind. You're not doing it on your lips. Your lips are closed as you're watching it, but you're actually sounding it out in your brain what those letters come together as far as a word. So that's the first tip, is to actually sound it out. The second tip is to use context. You know that if someone points to this space over here and does boy, you know that it's going to be a male name as opposed to a female name. Or if it is, I traveled and I went to another country and now they're going to fingerspell, well, you know that now I've got a closed set of countries I'm going to have to deal with in order to read fingerspelling. The other thing, which takes a little bit more work, but with practice it really assists you, is looking at all of the language pieces. So we've talked a lot in class about how this is not a linear language, that it's actually a multidimensional language that comes together with multiple pieces happening at the same time. The tendency for someone who is first getting into ASL is to look at the fingerspelling and hone in just on that fingerspelling. In reality, the best practice is to just keep a broad view, to read the fingerspelling with the periphery of your eye, still maintaining eye contact with the deaf individual, still looking at all their facial expressions, their body language, everything else that's also taking place while that fingerspelling is going on. So I equate that to imagine, if you would, you know, having a family, having a child that goes off to a ballet recital, a dance recital, and you're sick, you can't attend, and so you send your significant other to go and record the dance recital. Well, when it gets to that place where where your child comes out on stage to do their particular number, your spouse then zooms right in on their feet, and they miss out on the rest of their legs, on their hips, on their torso, on their head. They miss out on everything that's going on around the child in order to get the dancing of the feet. Well, how happy would you be if your spouse brought that back to you and you looked at it, hoping to see this dance recital, and that's what you actually saw, were just the individual feet moving back and forth? You wouldn't be very happy about that. You want to keep this broad perspective open so that you can see everything going on at the same time.